Hi YouTube, Brian James, that Micro Four Thirds guy with you once again, and I'm sitting on my patio because I've thought about doing a new series, sitting on the patio about once a week and answering your questions. And I thought, patio chat? Patio patter? Don't know, you tell me in the comments below what you like. But basically what I want to do is I'm going to answer some of your questions, and the first one I'm going to answer is why I'm doing this. And I've had a couple of people who've actually got in touch and said, do you not do any of the talks, the little monologues from the car anymore? We used to quite like them. And there again, there was quite a few people who used to say we don't like them, so it's a bit of both. But no, I'm not doing any more from the car at the moment. During the daytime here, it's about 34 degrees Celsius. In the evenings, like now, it's about getting up for 8 o'clock at night. It is still knocking on for about 27 degrees. So to sit in the car and to waffle into a microphone while looking at a camera, it's like being in a baker's oven. So no, but I've thought myself, yes, I've sort of lost touch and lost track with you over the last few months because of coming out to Cyprus and having a big change in my life. I'm sure you understand it's been quite an upheaval. It's still ongoing. But I've realised that I was starting to lose touch a little bit with the fantastic community that I've got. And I thought, well, actually, this is an ideal opportunity because I get lots of questions asked online. But what I'm thinking about doing is asking you to ask me some questions in the comments for this particular video and any of the other patio videos I do. Because I'm thinking about making this a weekly series. And as I say, I don't know what to call it. Patio Patter's probably my favourite at the minute. But basically, doing them from here rather than the car, where you've got the gardens in the background and the pool disappearing over the corner. Can you see the pool there? Yeah, you can see the pool. It's rather nice to come out to. And it's just nice on an evening to come out and have a look at some of the questions that you might have to ask me about Micro Four Thirds photography, photography in general, my attitude to photography in general, you know, anything you want in that sort of thing. Try and keep them clean, try and keep them decent. But yeah, if there's anything you really want to ask me, because as I say, I can't do them from the car, it'll just kill me. And even during the bright daytime here, it's far too hot, even just sitting outside. But this evening is just nice. So maybe once every Monday or maybe once every Tuesday night, I'm not sure which night to do it, but to do a session, because I don't have the facilities, I don't have my computers out here to be able to do a live chat, which I used to enjoy doing those live chats with you. I do miss them, and as soon as I can get those back on the road again, I will, because I really enjoyed it. But if you can sort of do me that favour of trying to get it a little bit sorted. But I've actually got one here, and this one is from Pete Chris Chris217. Hi, Pete Chris217. I'm guessing that's probably a Christian name and a combination of surname. Anyway, you've asked me about exposure while I'm out here, because obviously we've got a great deal more intense sunlight and intense brilliance in some of the things. And you asked me about what I do about my exposure. Well, I do find that the camera sorts 90% out of it. In fact, the high intensity sunlight really does well. However, it's very easy to burn the whites out. So if you're shooting something with a predominantly white sky, real highlights in it, it's very easy to burn them out and just lose all the detail in them. So sometimes it's maybe worth just underexposing by half a stop. A third of a stop or 2/3 of a stop. You get the idea, not quite a full stop. Just to take some of that edge off. And you can bring that back up in post-production very easily, I found. If you start going more than a stop or two, you really want to be shooting RAW probably rather than JPEGs, because you've got more latitude in that. But if you're shooting over here, I'd probably take it down maybe a third or 2/3 of a stop in general shooting. It also depends what you're shooting as well, because I mean we've got things like the Mediterranean out there. The Mediterranean is this big expanse of dark blue and green, which looks fabulous, but it does knock your average light intensity off, because remember, when you're shooting, the camera doesn't really know whether it's a sea or a sky or whatever it is. It's just looking what the average intensity, the average luminance is, and taking it down to about, trying to get the midpoint to about 18%. And that's basically where you get on the grayscale, but it's the logarithmic middle. Near enough it is, actually. It's not quite, but it's near enough the logarithmic middle. Yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, it doesn't work that way because we have, in cameras, we have a latitude of dead space at the very dark and at the very light. So we're looking for that sort of 18% of the average light to try and get a good exposure. Now, if we've got a predominantly dark subject, we're going to see it as dark. So the camera is going to say, ooh, I need to really lighten this up. So if you take lots of pictures where the sea is very, very dominant and there's not a great deal of sky or other highlights, you might have to really dial that out a bit and start to overexpose it slightly, because it's going to naturally try and overexpose. You need to try and get a little bit more light in than the camera's letting you. So you need to maybe turn it up a couple of stops. If you're having that nice average, as I say, with the bright, intense sunshine over here, you might want to just knock it down by 1/3 of a stop or 2/3 of a stop. So that's what I would recommend. That's what I've been doing out here, and it seems to really work well. I tend to leave my my exposure on a good average across the screen. I don't tend to do spot exposure evaluation. I do tend to do it as an average across the board. So that's that one. Right, let's have a little look. I've only got a couple of questions because you haven't sent me any questions yet. If you do want to send me questions for me to discover and have a look around, just drop them in the comments below on this particular video, because I'll be looking at this one and the future ones in this patio, what did I call it? Patio Patter. I'm going to have a better name for that. You choose some names. Drop in the comments below. But yeah, drop in the comments any questions you want me to answer. I don't claim to be an expert, but I do claim to have a fair knowledge on things, so bear with me on that one. And yeah, got this one. Let's see. I need my glasses on, actually, because I can't actually read these names. PL2741-3. Interesting username. Okay, now this is talking about what I said about the OM3. They'll challenge me slightly on what I said about the OM3 in a previous video, a couple of videos ago, where I said I'd sort of gone off it, purely for the fact that I didn't see the relevance in me buying a newer camera. And some people got quite shirty about the OM3, saying that, well, you know, it's a good camera. I didn't say it wasn't. Basically, what I'm saying about the OM3 is, for a similar sort of price, you can get an OM1 Mark II, very, very similar price, or a second-hand OM1 Mark I easily. And effectively, the OM3 is a styling exercise, and I loved it because it looked so reminiscent of my old OM1N film camera. It brought back 45, 50 years worth of memories of taking photographs and putting them through. But the more I've been out here, the more I've realised that in actual fact it is a styling exercise. It's form over function. Having said that, the function is superb because it is basically the innards of the OM1. But if I want the innards of the OM1 and actually get it to do slightly better than the OM3, buy an OM1, because the OM1 has actually all the bits and pieces inside. It's actually got, as far as I remember, a better viewfinder too. So if I was going to spend that money, yes, although I'm really taking it hard by that by that styling, I think I'd buy an OM1 because it's just going to give me a better camera. And I think in a few years' time, it's going to be holding its value equally well, if not better, because it will have those extra bits of features which the OM3s had to drop to fit that sort of retro fill. Well, anyway, that's two questions, all I had to answer on this one. But as I say, I'm going to hopefully be doing these weekly. So if you would, drop me some questions down below that I can try and answer in the future weeks. As I say, I don't know if it's going to be on a Monday or a Tuesday. I'll let you know in future videos. But let me know also about whether you like the format, whether you don't like the format. Do you think it should be done like this? I'm going to carry on doing other videos, so don't worry. It's not at the expense of the other videos. This is just an extra little bit to throw in to keep it nice and regular for my regular viewers and my subscribers. Now, speaking of subscribers, it's been an interesting time. I'm sitting at about 12,930. So I've got about 70 more subscribers to hit magic 13,000. So if you're not a subscriber, and about 69% of my viewers aren't subscribers, then please hit the subscribe button below. It costs you absolutely nothing. It makes such a difference to the channel insofar as how YouTube distributes it. But also, while you're down there, hit the subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and hit the little bell and tick all to get notifications of every time I upload a video. Anyway, till the next time, keep on having fun with your camera. Keep on having fun going out and enjoying yourself in the sunshine if you've got any sunshine in it. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.